All right, we're in downtown Los Angeles and we are testing out a train with 250 total units. Run 8 says that the max you can have is 250, so we've got 250. So that's freight cars and locomotives combined, 250 total. And we're at the Alameda Corridor. Let's get these engines started up here. And I just want to show you how long this train is. Turn our headlights on. So I couldn't even start at this signal here because the train's so long it would get cut off. So I had to start making this curve onto the BNSF Main 2. You can see the Amtrak depot right there on the left. But I want to show you, I'm going to go to the back of the train. Look at this. Here's the back. And you can see you can only fit a few more cars there until the end. And I also discovered something after 3 years of playing this game, simulator, that a cow somehow got stuck back here. He's looking around the corner. So that's interesting. Look at that. When I was at the back of the train is so long that I couldn't even get into the cab because I was too far away. And now we're rolling back because the independent brake wasn't on for some reason by default. Alright, I gotta fix my... Oh no, I got that right. Let's get our windows open here. So let's see what we got. We're going Long Beach Pier up to Clovis, New Mexico. We're 17,559 feet, 3.8 horsepower per ton, because we're going to be going up the Cajon Pass. We're 17,748 tons. So we're going to see how this works here. And I forgot what the breakdown was here. I think, here. We're 6 by 6 by 3. I don't even know if they do trains this big in real life, and if they did, if they would be 6 by 6 by 3, I'm not sure. But we're going to try it out. All right. Let's start moving, and we'll have auto give us a signal. Oh no, I gotta do my we gotta do our brake test here first. Look at this. It doesn't even fit on the top of the screen. I've never done a train this long before, so this is gonna be fun. So let's bring us down 20 psi on the brake pipe here. I think the longest train that I've ever done is maybe like 120 cars. Just whatever Run 8 usually spawns in. So this is new for me too. And this was suggested by one of my excellent viewers to test out and do a super long train. And this is a container train from Long Beach, California. Alright, so we're down below 70 on the rear. Let's test our bail here. So I'll release the independent brake and then hold the bail key. And I just got to keep holding it. And on this screen too, you could see down here, look at the brake cylinders on the DPUs. There'll be a little bit of a delay, but you'll see them go to 0 eventually. See that? Little delay because they're so far away. So now we know that we got the bail works, and you can see our brake cylinder over here at 0. So now I can put the independent brake back on, and you'll see these go back up. A little bit of a delay there on the mid and rears. There we go. And now I can release the train brake. And you can see how fast the rear and the brake pipe fill up because we've got all these locomotives in the middle and in the rear. So it fills up quick. If we only had locomotives on the front, it would take probably a half hour to fill this train up. All right, so auto gave us a proceed on signal indication, so let's get this train moving here. Say so far so good. Supposedly this is the limit. If you try to do over 250 cars, I don't think it allows it. At least that's what the manual says. Haven't had too much trouble yet getting started, at least. Maybe we got too many locomotives, but I think you gotta, if you're going up the Cajon Pass, you gotta, I think the minimum, if I'm not mistaken, from the depot website, they say you need like, I want to say it was at least 3.7 horsepower per ton, and we're 3.8. Otherwise, you could make it up, I think, with less than that, but you're just going to be going really slow the whole way up. So now that we're actually on pretty flat ground, I'm going to put on the fence. If you look over here on the right, multifunction display. I'm going to put the fence up. I'm actually going to put it up 2 clicks. And then I'm actually going to notch down on the rears. I'll just put them at 1 for a second. Our speed limit's 25 here. And then I'm going to bring the power up on the front. Because we don't need to be pushing too much from the rear on all this flat ground. But we're going to need them once we get to the start of the Cajon Pass. Also, in real life, on a train this big, I wonder if they would do it this way with all the engines on, like right now, even though, you know, up ahead we don't have too much elevation until we get to San Bernardino. Maybe in real life they would put all the helpers on at San Bernardino, but I'm not sure. Or maybe they would just put them on in Long Beach and just leave it, have them go all the way. I'm not sure. Let me know if you know in the comments. Let me know. Coming up to Hobart Yard up on the left. Where the rear of our train is. Oh my gosh, we're still in the corridor. I would not have guessed that. Look at that. I was gonna say, because we're still, I'm actually going too fast, we're still limited here to 25. I thought we went further, but this train is over 3 miles long. And if you look at my right MFD display, you'll see that I got the DPUs at idle, because we don't really need them pushing right now. While we're cruising here, let's just take a look at this train. It'll probably take 15 minutes just to sit here and watch this whole thing go by. So this is CP Hobart. Sometimes I'll put the tags on real quick. I don't like to leave them on because they kind of block. They're like right in the middle of the track, so they kind of mess up the view. But sometimes I'll put them on just real quickly, just to see where we're at, and then I just turn it back off. We have to go into dynamics here. We're picking up some speed. Actually, I can do it. Maybe I can use the levers just to make it a little bit more fun. If you want to know where I'm clicking, right in this area, you don't want to try to click to move these handles over here. It doesn't work. You got to be right at like the pivot point. And you can see over on my right MFD display over here, I'm only applying dynamics to the lead right now. Oh, we're slowing down too much. Oh, and now we can do 40. All right, so let's take this back off. So I'm only applying dynamic brakes to the lead unit right now because I got the fence up right here. See that fence? Let's see if we can get this up to 40. Clear for 50 mile an hour. Here's Commerce on the left. A little bit empty there. We got to get some locomotives at those filling stations. And this is the Commerce Amtrak station. Actually, I think that's Metrolink. I don't think Amtrak stops there. Only Metrolink. So I'm in notch 8 up in the front, but I need a little more juice to get up to, I mean, we'll probably make it up to 50, but I'm just going to give the mid and the rear DPUs a notch. can see there, I just give them another notch. And when I do, you can see that there's a slight delay. So if you look down here, you can see right here, it says F notch 2. So that's just for the ones on this side of the fence. And if I give them a notch, it takes maybe 5 seconds before, like it'll say 3, it would say 3 here, but it would take about maybe 4 or 5 seconds before you can see them say 3 over here. So far, this train's running really smooth. The DPUs you can't control from any handles. Like I can do the throttle here for the lead, but these DPUs back here, you gotta use the whatever you have your key binding set to. Remembered I didn't turn on the headlights on the rear, so just put those on. Oh, and we got an approach medium, and it's getting foggy all of a sudden. My goodness. And we're not going to be able to fit in a lot of siding, so I guess we're going to have top priority. We'll see what the auto does with us. Happened to those houses over there, but they might need to call their insurance. And I'm actually going way too fast here. Supposed to be going, I think, no faster than 30. So let's pull this fence off. We'll go into dynamics because I got to be ready to stop in 2 miles. Now you can see down here, because I pulled the fence off, we got dynamic brakes all the way. we're okay. It looks like an approach medium again. Yeah. Alright, so we can get moving here. And I'll put my fence back up. So with this approach medium, we're got to be ready to stop at the next signal. So I don't want to get going too fast. Or this is an approach. Did I say approach medium? We got another approach signal. So I want to stay below 30, and I got to... Oh, auto just said proceed on signal indication. So we probably have a signal up there, but I don't know. And you know what? I'm just going to go up here and give us some sunny weather, because the last video was real foggy and almost rainy. I want to have some nice weather. That's better. Just need to take it easy, because our last signal was an approach, so we need to be ready to stop. We probably have a signal, but I don't know until I can see it. Here's the Norwalk. This has got to be a Metro link. Yeah, Metro link. Yeah, hopefully we don't have any permanent DPU errors on this trip, considering how many we have. We got 9. Okay, can we see our signal up there? What do we got? Oh, we got a green, but it looks like we're going to be crossing over. That was the La Mirada yard. I'm using the mid and rear DPUs just a little bit here because we're going up a little bit of a grade. But then I'm going to probably take them back down to 0 here in a second. We just had a small hill there. There's the Buena Park Amtrak. Or no, I guess that's probably another Metro link. Yeah, I think that's just another Metro link. But not too far from this station, this Buena Park station, is a Portillo's Hot Dogs. And it's one of, I think, only 2 locations in California. But if you're from Chicago like me, Portillo's is very famous in Chicago. So and now I live in California, and to be able to have Portillo's in California is a real treat. They've also built a whole bunch now in Arizona. Arizona's almost becoming like Chicago. You got Portillo's, you got Lou Malnati's, and I think there's some Giordano's now in Arizona. Because everyone in Chicago retires and then they move to the golf communities in Sun City West, and they want that Chicago food, I guess. I know I do. We got to drop down to 40 miles an hour in 2.3 miles. We got here control point Basta. Here's the Fullerton Amtrak. And now we got to be doing 40 right here. So if you were going to go down to San Diego on the Pacific Surfliner, you would be going to the right up here. I think it's called the Orange Sub or the Olive Sub. It takes you down to San Diego. And this is a perfect spot to end episode 1, and we'll continue on episode 2 right here.